Hi, this is Stephen Brower. This is for CISY 217 Operating Systems for the fall 2016 semester at Raritan Valley Community College. There have been other videos to do an overview of the course, another video that did the how to submit homework 1 and lab 1, and there are other videos that are on the content. This video specifically is on the forums or the discussion board that we'll be using for the semester. Now, I'll come into here. This is for Tuesday, September 6th. Our only assignment between August 31st and the September 6th is this, which is the discussion forum. You may have had some classes where the teacher has a participation grade, and in a sense I'm looking at using this forum, this discussion forum, as being a class participation grade, but at least it's something that is quantifiable, that I actually can look at your postings throughout the semester as a way of putting a number associated with your participation. The minimum I'm looking for is that for the questions that I pose, and it's going to vary week to week how many questions I pose, but for the questions that I pose, to make sure you answer the questions. Most of the weeks they're going to be opinion based, so there is no right or wrong answer. I'm looking for your opinion. So your answer would have to be on topic in order for it to be counted. I have an example in the syllabus if you want to take a peek at it as to a bad and a good example regarding a question and an answer. For this week, though, for this week 1, you're just be introducing yourselves to the class. So imagine if we were sitting in a classroom and I went around the room one at a time and I asked you to introduce yourself. Now, one of the things you might want to do is you might want to take a look at some other introductions. Now, if you're the first person in, the only other one you have to look at is mine. Mine might be a little bit more verbose than what is really needed, but it is something that you can do, is that if you're not sure, you can look at someone else's posting. Not every week am I going to have a posting up there for this intro. It makes sense for me to do an intro. But let me just, for right now, do the right-hand side first, and that'll be Start New Thread. So when you're ready to respond to a topic, click on the Start New Thread. And one thing that's nice about this is it does show you the question in case you've forgotten, or in this case, questions. What I would say for the subject is put your last name. Well, for this first week, do your last name and then intro. And then you would, here in this part, just go and answer the questions. And some weeks it'll most likely just be an opinion. So in my opinion, blah, 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 you put your answer. So we'll pretend I answered all the questions here. And then down here I would hit then submit, and it would submit my posting. What I'm going to do is, let me just go back a second. One thing you can do is, after you hit submit, if you realize, oops, I didn't want to say that, you can edit. And so what I will do is I'm going to bring up my posting that I did. And so this is my posting. And there is, when you're looking at your own posting, edit is something that you can do. So if you didn't like the response that you gave, you actually can go in and you can edit your response. And so this way you can, if there's an issue, or you missed a question, or you misunderstood the question, or you later caught a typing error that you didn't, or spelling error you didn't realize before, whatever. But anyway, the idea is that you can edit your post that you have, and then when you're done editing, then you actually can do submit, and it'll save your changes. Now, since I'm not going to save my changes, I am going to hit cancel for right now, but at least it's something that you could go back in and change what you have. So for the discussion board, that's going to vary week to week. Well, not every week. Not every week is going to have discussions. So there might be some weeks where there are no discussions involved. Some weeks it doesn't necessarily correspond to what the topic is. It might be close, it might be operating system related, but not necessarily the chapter that we are working on. In a number of cases, it's opinion based. Now, this is not an opinion. I mean, this is, what's your major, what do you like to be called, and what interests do you have? So this one isn't opinion based, but there'll be others in the future, like, if your neighbor asked for your Wi-Fi password and wanted to split the cost, would you agree? That is an opinion. And so it's, you may feel strongly about it one way or another. So again, the forums, the minimal I'm looking for is that you post a response to my question. That's the minimum. I know there are other teachers that will do a grade based on not only your posting, but a reply to two others. I am not grading, then, in a sense, replies to others. I'm just looking at the response to the question that I put up there. So I'm not mandating a response, and I'm really looking just for, I'm not mandating a response to another student's post, but I am mandating that you answer the question that I have. So again, there'll be about 10 of these for the semester as a whole, so roughly one every week. A couple of weeks aren't going to have one. And again, if you don't like the posting that you put in, as I showed you, actually can go and edit your post to change what's there. I try my darn doodliest not to remove a post, so if I see something that is off or someone is off topic, I will send an email to the student saying, you're off topic and answer the question, or if there's something wrong about it, in the hopes that someone will edit themselves. I really don't want to quote unquote censor, but if someone is answering something that's not on topic, I want to make someone aware that it's not on topic and then go to change it. So again, just think of this as being a class participation grade, but the nice thing is it's not going to be based on whether I like you or not. It is going to be, okay, if I have 10 postings, if I have 10 boards, it's, do you have a post in each of the 10 boards, and in each of those posts on topic, and that's what the grade will be based on. So I'm hoping it's painless, and well, let's see what we do this semester.